You may not be able to swim in that river, but it's probably, I think, because of all the bodies floating around from shooting victims in your city.
Oh, my God.
You know, the fact is...
Oh, my God. This is what he thinks of our cities, that there are bodies floating in the city of Newark. How insulting is that to the people of the city and others working together? This is insulting.
Well, there you have it. Maybe you were watching. One-liners and jabs stood out at last night's New Jersey Senate debate. It is the final week of campaigning for Newark Mayor Cory Booker and his Republican rival, Steve Lonegan. Both are vying for the seat now left open when Senator Frank Lautenberg died in June, you'll recall. A special U.S. Senate election will be held next Wednesday, and we just want to mention that Cory Booker's father passed away this morning. You should know that. He had been battling Parkinson's disease and recently had a stroke, to bring you up to date.
Our condolences to the Booker family. Joining us now is political analyst Steve Adubato. Thanks so much for being with us tonight, Steve.
Good to be here.
Certainly not a little cordial exchange there. Let's talk about what Lonegan had to say about the Passaic River and the bodies in it, and Mayor Booker's reaction.
Sure.
What do you think? What is that?
First of all, I want to echo the condolences to the Booker family. I can't imagine how he's out there campaigning and will have to be out there campaigning over the next few days with this race, with a family issue like that. But look, Steve Lonegan has decided this race is not just about Cory Booker, it's about the city of Newark. He's putting the city of Newark, it's the referendum. He's saying if you want for Washington and New Jersey what Cory Booker has done for Newark in terms of crime, unemployment is 14%, schools are struggling. If you want to have that, then vote for Cory Booker. Now, obviously, it's a mischaracterization of how complex urban management of a city really is. That's what he's doing, and so he uses such graphic language, you know, bodies in the Passaic River. Some people respond to that, and Cory Booker may be offended. He said, oh, my God, when that happened. Some people are offended. Most people that support Lonegan, they say, that's why we like this guy. He says it the way it is. It's a very stark contrast between two people who agree on absolutely nothing.
And Steve, you know, in their first debate, pretty sharp tongues there, October 4th, they brought it up a notch last night. We want to play a little bit more from that debate. Okay, let's take a look at the video and then we'll talk about it. Here it is.
You've seen violent crime up and high school dropout rates of over 50%. We simply cannot allow Cory Booker to bring his failed record as the mayor of Newark to the United States Senate.
What you see down in Washington right now is that Tea Party fringe, people like Ted Cruz, who my opponent says he admires, and others, hijacking our government in order to get what they want.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we heard a lot of different things, right? We heard, you know, attacks certainly on a personal level in many ways. I wanted to ask you, at one point Lonegan said he felt that he was clobbered in this debate.
Or that he clobbered Booker.
Yes.
Oh, he didn't clobber him, yes.
No, he didn't clobber him because Cory Booker then turned around and said, let me get this straight. The government is shut down in Washington. Hundreds of thousands of workers are not working in the federal government. Parks are closed down. All sorts of federal services are not happening. And Mr. Lonegan, you would support that effort. And you're part of the Tea Party that supports that. I don't know how he clobbered him if, in fact, people who are against the government shutdown are upset. And Steve Lonegan is saying, well, I'm for the government shutdown. So while they both got their shots in, Cory Booker's campaign is this. Steve Lonegan is a Tea Party extremist, not in line with New Jersey voters. He's not one of us. He's not a Jersey person, a moderate. That's why it's such a stark contrast. Anyone who says there's no difference between politicians, they're all the same, they don't understand this race because these guys are diametrically opposed.
So let's talk about whether or not it's actually working, because, I mean, when we first started looking at these numbers, it was just like a runaway race for Cory Booker. Right. And now that incredible lead is it's withering a little bit, and perhaps there may be a real race. So is Lonegan actually getting through to his voters, or is some of the criticism about Cory Booker going to L.A. and fundraising a lot and all of that, going to California, is that hurting
It's
him?
all that and more. Real quick. It was a 30-point race. Now, if you put all the campaign polls together, it's about 10. It shouldn't be that way with the number of Democrats. The number of Democrats outnumber Republicans like 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Lonegan has gotten to Booker by saying, when those murders were taking place and Fox 5 was reporting on them, murders in the streets, and Cory Booker is out raising money. He always likes to say, Lonegan was saying, he's with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. You know what that means? That's his code of saying, come on. He's a Hollywood elitist. He's a celeb type. He's not one of us. That hurt Cory Booker because it seemed like he wasn't in touch with what was going on with the city. but also Steve Lonegan's voters are motivated. They're right-wing, conservative Republicans, and on a Wednesday, they are likely to vote. So even though most people will probably say they'll support Booker, the question is, can you get those urban Democrats out to vote on a Wednesday, not a Tuesday?
That's very different.
First time in history.
Right? Never
Ernie,
happened
first
before.
time in history.
Right.
Never before on a Wednesday. And then remember, just a few weeks later, oh, that little race for governor.
Yeah.
New Jersey's never had two races a couple weeks apart like this. It's fascinating.
It'll be interesting. It's countdown.
Steve Adubato.
Thank you.
Political analyst, always the best.
Good to be here.
Thanks for being here.